Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Hold on. That's a big balls move. Do you want your title?
Happy Sunday, happy early morning trash football game.
Yes! We're back, baby! Let's go!
Feud with Aaron Rodgers. I almost got banned off TikTok for the thing that.
Carried MCL sprain on his knee. He has had some nagging hamstring issues over the years.
D. Lots of fun words start with D. Like bye weeks.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
The Friday night special! Yeah! We are Friday night, baby!
Let's go. Finally, we got Freddie on a Friday. I got him in the whole Friday night breakdown transition, and first time we got him on. I absolutely am pumped up. Let's get things started tonight. Let's get the intros going. We've already talked about him. Fred the Jester Reyes, welcome in, my friend.
I'm here. I'm ready. We got to do something about. I lost in my fantasy leagues. 5 of them. I lost in 4. So we have problems this week. Let's go.
That's the problem because you didn't show up for the summer tour. That was the problem. That was the real deal. Also, let's welcome into the studio Justin Jesus Herrero. Welcome in, sir.
I'm always reminded that Greg went 14-0 and choked in the big game. So, Fred, you went 6-5. Hey, man, week 1 means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
This is panic time. People start panicking. Who's looking for trades? Relax.
That's
you
right.
know what's funny is Greg will think that was a direct target. I was just looking for Greg because you have him as like my Jets are absolutely trash this season on the intro, and he wasn't on the intro. I was just like, oh, come on, bro. I had to listen to Chris Fox's D is for damn it. You know what, Chris? A is for attendance, motherfucker.
D is for don't show. That's for damn sure. All righty. I love it. Let's pay the bills right quick. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid. Hit subscribe. Throw your comments in there. If you got fantasy questions, we're here to answer them and do all the other good stuff that belongs with YouTube. I can't even remember right now. Little things stopping you from doing it. Big things popping for us when you do. We appreciate that. Go to Fast Draft app. Use the promo code TSS. We'll double that deposit for $50, giving you $100 for daily fantasy. You can't beat that. Also, if you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, look no further than Pro-Am Belts. All right, guys, so we got a lot to break down tonight. We got a game last night we got to talk about real quick. But the main thing right off the jump is we got to talk about injuries. So let's bring Brian Scott in from the Injured List podcast. So we can figure out what the hell we're going to do in some of these lineups. Let's go.
It's time to get your latest NFL injury updates with Brian from the Injured List podcast. The doctor is in.
The doctor is in. I didn't think that was going to go that quick as I'm blowing out smoke. My bad about that. Welcome in, Todd. We got some injury concerns all the way across the board. Some players that are already out. Some players got hurt last night.
Yeah.
So a lot for you to dive into, my friend. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Thanks, guys. I'm good. I'm a little tired, as you guys can tell, because I heard you talking about me earlier. But hey, that's okay. Wait till you see me Sunday morning. That's tired. Okay, so the game last night, we got a couple of updates from last night. So Jaden Reed, the guy who we've been talking about playing through a Jones fracture, makes a great catch in the end zone. It gets called back for a holding penalty. He goes down hard, walks into the locker room, clavicle fracture. Wouldn't you know, I predicted that one. And he's out 6 to 8 weeks. I'm surprised if he doesn't go on IR and they address this foot issue in the meantime. I don't know why they wouldn't. He's got a known fracture. He was trying to play through it. If he continues to try to do something with it, it's not going to heal. At least has a high chance of not healing. So this could be an extended absence, possibly a trip to IR. Pay attention there. And then, of course, Jaden Daniels reportedly is having an MRI on his knee. He had a noticeable limp at the end of the game. Hopefully he just got banged up a little bit. But apparently they sent him for an MRI either today or tomorrow. I don't know when, but we should get some more news over the weekend here, or maybe first thing next week. We'll keep an eye on that. I don't think it's anything serious. I'm hoping he just got banged up a little bit. Going through the list of players that we've been kind of covering, Jalen Wright, the running back for the Dolphins, listed as doubtful for week 2. He's still not ready to go. He had a limited practice Thursday and Friday. Doesn't look like he's quite ready yet. He'll probably ramp up next week in anticipation of week 3. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver for the Falcons, he's been cleared to play. He was limited in practice, but he's been removed from the injury report, so we could see him make his return this week, along with his teammate Drake London, who was also cleared and actually practiced in full on Friday and was also removed from the injury report. So good news for Falcons wide receivers there. Christian Kirk still recovering from this hamstring injury. It's going to be at least a couple more weeks probably for him. No reports of him even stepping on the field as of yet. And then George Kittle, he's on IR, so we're not going to see him until week 6 at the earliest. And then Xavier Worthy was seen in practice today, making a one-handed grab with that shoulder that he dislocated. So good news is there that he's not having surgery. He probably has a brace that he's going to be playing with. But the good news is there's a chance that he could be ready next week. I mean, I don't think they should put him out there this week, but there's a chance he could be ready week 3. So keep an eye on that. I don't know how effective he'll be. He's going to be playing with a pretty sore shoulder at the least, and probably with a brace on, but he could possibly be back that quick.
That's crazy to even think that. Just to throw some other guys out there too, from last night, actually, Austin Eckler, I saw confirmed torn Achilles.
It is torn?
For him. It is torn.
That was like an easy call. I mean,
I seen it when he did the step and he went down. I was like, ugh.
You know, unfortunately for him at the running back position, he's been in the league quite a long time. He's had major injuries throughout his career. He's missed several seasons where he's missed significant time due to various injuries. Hamstring being the most recent one where he missed like 6 or 7 weeks and I think he might have even had off-season surgery or something on that. This is a tough one to bounce back from, man, career-wise. Really tough injury.
And especially at his age and all that. He's a pretty tough guy, though. I always see him on the Instagram working out and all that kind of good stuff. So I know he's in good shape. But, unfortunately, as the age starts to climb up there, the injuries start to climb up there as well. And another note as well, I didn't hear you mention him. Dallas Goedert also ruled out for this rematch against the Chiefs due to a knee injury as well. I'm only on top of that because I have Devonta Smith, and I was just waiting to find out. We're going to talk about that, though, in a little bit. All right, Brian, we appreciate you. Follow Brian on social media at the Injured List Podcast. He's all over with breaking injury news, so you want to make sure you're locked in with him. As well, of course, you can see him with us on Sunday morning. He'll give us the latest news and breakdowns there as well. So, Bri, we appreciate you as always. Enjoy your Friday night and get some rest, my friend.
All right, I will.
All right, as we send him out, we'll hear from our friends from NeuroGuard Plus.
Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, They need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILP Sports for 10% discount on your purchase.
All right, well, we were talking about all the injuries from last night. Let's talk about last night's game real quick with some news.
Breaking news. The boys from TSS Fantasy still don't know what the hell they are talking about.
I'm watching in the background. I see both your heads like, So the Packers looking mighty Packer-like last night, 27-18 in Lambeau Field. Jordan Love, 292, 2 TDs. Josh Jacobs, 84 yards on the ground with a TD. Tucker Kraft, though, 6 receptions, 124 yards, and a TD. On the other side, some of the highlights, Jaden Daniels, 200 yards and 2 TDs on the night, and he was their leading rusher with 7 carries for 17 yards last night. They got to do something about that running game. Zach Ertz, by the way, he is still making plays. Last night, he was their leading receiver with 64 yards and a TD. And we know Debo. How about Debo? 7 receptions, 44 yards, and a TD for him as well. And really on the other side, as far as receivers, Dontavian Wicks, they seem to target a little bit. You saw Matthew Golden. He was definitely getting targeted, but just wasn't connecting. But you could see what could happen, though, when they do. He's definitely got some speed on him. All right, let's just get some takeaways from last night. Justin, what's your thoughts on last night's game?
So I just looked this up. Jordan Love is currently tied for a record right now. It's a Packers record, so it's nothing like huge. But it's a Packers record with one Bart Starr for the most consecutive games without an interception. Now, if you would have told me that, I would have said, no fucking way. Jordan Love is risky as hell with the ball. But for some reason, this is blown by us all here. Jordan Love has been really, really good with the football in his hands. So I think he's kind of last week was kind of like a maturation for him in my or last night was a maturation for him in my eyes. I saw him get back to running the ball, which last year he was dinged up a lot. He had a lot of knee injuries, so he wasn't able to do that. It was nice to see him stretch the field when he needed to. And then it was nice to see him just making everybody better. Like Dontavian Wicks came back onto our radar for waivers because look at this guy. He's catching passes instead of dropping them. Jaden Reed, that pass was phenomenal. It was shitty that was a holding call. And it was so good that it even made the highlights for halftime, even though it got called back, which is crazy because you look at Jaden Reed's stat line, 0 points. But if he would have caught that pass, he would have at least had 9. So, yeah, I mean, I'm mightily impressed by the Packers. I think Jordan Love is for real. On the other side, Jaden Daniels is carrying the squad. Love what Jaden Daniels is doing. Bill Crosby or Bill Crosby, whatever the hell he wants to be called, kind of disappointed. I don't know what Fred has to say about that, but I did not really like what he was doing there. I think they also need to get more like runs for him. I think they only ran him like 6 times, so maybe I'm overjudging off the small sample size, but obviously they didn't really see him as a passer or as a pass catcher as well. So, you come off that big game and now you got to kind of prove that you're consistent, and he didn't really do it this week.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see much more than a sample, probably a whole entree for him next week. So we'll probably get to test that theory. Fred, what were your thoughts on last night's game?
The Packers are for real. I thought the game was going to be a lot closer. It was being built up to be a phenomenal game. But when I was watching it, I was really disappointed with Washington. They haven't hit any really big plays this year. I think they said that through both games, they've only hit one big play over 20 yards, and that's not Washington's game. Jaden Daniels usually hits big plays, big passes, 20 yards and better consistently. And it just didn't happen. I was watching. I was like, this doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. The running game was not there. But it's not maybe not to their fault, because I also found out that Green Bay's defense for the first time since I think they said 2000 and 13 has not given up over 250 yards in either game. We're not used to that from the Green Bay Packers. We knew they were always offense, and their defense wasn't, didn't help out the offense. Now they got a defense. So now I'm like, okay, so maybe the Packers were really that good, and Washington just couldn't do their game plan. So yeah, fantasy wise, Jaden Daniels didn't put up many points. Overall, it just wasn't a great game for Washington. All hands out to Green Bay. They're looking for real. They're looking better and better every week.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny that you say they've been hitting the big plays, or he was hitting the big plays, because he was hitting the big plays to Terry McLaurin. Then all of a sudden he gets paid, and it's like he's non-existent right now. So Terry's got to find a way to get those big plays back into this offense. And the defense, Jordan Love made them look like chumps last night. So, and again, but Jordan Love, like you said, Justin, he's matured. And looks good. And forget even if it is a Packers record, Bart Starr, bro, like damn, like that's putting yourself in big time company, regardless if it's NFL or just a team record. That's amazing, actually. So I'm glad you brought that up. All right, well, that was last night. I agree with you guys. The Packers are for real. Commanders got some questions going on, so we'll see. But let's go. We got a lot of action to break down this week. So let's get ready for the breakdown. Fred, get your dancing shoes on, boy.
It's time to get your lineup set with TSS Fantasy's Friday Night Breakdown.
Breakdown.
Bring it on down.
Breakdown.
Bring it on down. Bring it on down. I want to bring it on down. Bring it on down.
Fred's the crazy uncle at your I was gonna say at your wedding. Is what I'm about to say.
He's the crazy uncle at the quinceañera.
All right, let's get going with these games. First one up, we'll got the Giants at the Cowboys. So the Giants on their side, this is just a one-game sample as I go through them, so mind you. But they were 20th against QBs, 28th against the running back, 25th against receivers, and 15th against the tight end. Dallas, 25th against QBs, 19th against running backs, 3rd against receivers. Like I had mentioned, they locked down A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And tight ends, they were 17th right now. So we'll go to you first, Justin, with the home team. Tell me some starts and sits if you got them for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy one, and I thank you for it. I am 100% starting Dak. I am 100% starting CD. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go down the line and tell you who I'm not starting. Pavante Turpin and any other third string guy, because even the second stringer is going to eat in this game. But all seriousness, this is the game where if you have a flex spot and you're kind of pondering George Pickens, it might be a good choice. I'm in a league where I have to choose between Pickens and Jameson Williams. I'm kind of going, J-Mo kind of shit the bed last week, but I know he's better than that. And I know for sure Pickens is going to have at least 9 points this week. So it definitely makes the wheels turn in your head and go, do I want to do that? This is one of those games where Dak could easily just go, you know what? I want to pad my stats 100% because Jerry's going to be paying me and I got to show him it's worth it. Plus, when I pad my stats, it looks good for my MVP resume, right? Trying to get into that MVP conversation. But yeah, I think that this is a game where Javonte Williams put him in. Miles Sanders the only one I'm like, I think he's on a short leash after the fumble. I think Jadon Blue being healthy, we might see him start to get some touches in there. But Ferguson, yes. CD, yes. I'm saying it right here. Pickens, yes. Throw them all in there. It's going to be fun for the Cowboys.
It's funny that you mentioned Pickens. I have the same conundrum. Well, I did anyway, because it was either him or Devonta Smith. Now with Goddard down, I'm smashing Devonta Smith. He is money when Goddard's out, and it's just him and AJ Brown. The only other issue now that I'm having is that I also have Tyreek Hill. So now I'm even debating Pickens over Hill right now. So, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, Fred, talk about these New York Giants. You got any starts or sits for this one?
I think you're going to sit the whole Giants team, to be honest. I mean, who do you really want to go to except for Malik Neighbors? And that's if Russell Wilson actually throws it. I was pretty surprised about Dallas' defense. So playing the Eagles, the world champion Eagles at that. And to say that they went number 3 against them 2 receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and all you got is Neighbors, I mean, the Giants might be in some trouble. This might get ugly. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't start Russell Wilson. I wouldn't start Tracy right now. And if you can, I'm hesitant with Malik Neighbors because Dallas just played that well last week. But, you can't sit Neighbors. Probably drafted him high. So you got to ride with the wave.
Yeah, being it's week 2, I mean, you got to ride your horse because you obviously drafted him unless, it depends on what you got down below on the bench. But, you can definitely be consider sitting him this week because, listen, it's one thing to watch it on TV. I was there live. I saw those corners. They were all over Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. Could be scheme, though, too. So, who knows? Maybe there's a way to scheme him out. Malik Neighbors is, all elite. So we'll see in that one. But I would definitely at least try. He's a wide receiver, low end 2, is how I would describe him this week. Yeah. All right, let's get on to the next matchup. The Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seahawks last week, 17th against QBs, dead last against running backs, 4th against receiver, and they were also dead last against tight ends. Pittsburgh, they were 31st against QBs. Justin Fields, oh boy. Running backs, they were 27th, 15th against receivers, and 8th against tight ends. Fred, go with you first. Give me your starts and sits for this Seattle Seahawks team.
Well, I watched the Pittsburgh defense last week. They played the New York Jets, so I got a good look at them. I'm starting Sam Darnold. Justin Fields looked great against Pittsburgh last week. I mean, he had a couple of touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, two running, 1 pass. So definitely start Darnold. Also, let's start Cooper Kupp. Garrett Wilson had a big game, and he was the lone receiver. So why not? Brees Hall had over 100 yards. So yeah, I'm gonna start. If you have to, you definitely start Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp. I mean, I have no issues starting any of them.
I think the only question going for the Seattle offense is, do you start Charbonnet or Walker, quite frankly? Because Charbonnet looked like the man amongst men. Man amongst boys. I think I said that wrong.
There you go.
So, that's the only kind of conundrum I could see someone being in. But if you drafted Ken Walker, I mean, it's still a good matchup. Who knows? It might have just been week 1 thing, and he may come out and look gangbusters. So I agree. I definitely going to start him, but that's the only thing. If you have Zach Charbonnet, also, you might be having that debate in your mind. So quite frankly, I don't know what to tell you right now. But I would still just do Ken Walker right now. He still is that guy. He is him, or at least has been him for quite a while, even though Zach Charbonnet looked the role last week. Justin, what say you on those Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, so like you said, last against the run, you got to put Jalen Warren out there. I don't know about Kenneth Gainwell. A lot of people are starting to try and make that a thing. He really only had 19 yards last week on the ground, so I'm really not too impressed with it. I'd like to see Caleb Johnson out there, but I'm not the coach, so I'm not going to make the plays, so I'm not going to tell you to start him. As far as everything else goes, it's a start Aaron Rodgers time, man. Aaron Rodgers looks good. Well, maybe it was just going back to MetLife and he had to exercise some demons there, but he looked damn good, bro. Like, he was throwing it like Aaron Rodgers can only throw it. So yeah, for me, I think DK Metcalf's going to want to exercise some demons this week against Seattle. He's a full tilt boogie for me. I'm putting him in everywhere. And then Jonnu Smith is another guy I'm full tilt boogie. I'm putting that guy in. And low-key, I want to do this because I just picked him up. Calvin Austin as a flex does not sound bad to me. Especially if you got some shaky guys from week 1. You're kind of going, oh, shit. Travion Henderson didn't pan out as quickly as I thought. J-Mo had a bad game. But Calvin Austin And he's getting compared to Randall Cobb. That's some high comparison right there, man, especially to Aaron Rodgers. Randall Cobb is like Jerry Rice to Aaron Rodgers. So, it's true. He loves him some Randall Cobb, man. But you know what? So I'll probably put Galvin Austin there as well. I think this is another game. I think it has some high potential to be some fireworks.
Yeah, I agree. Even though what's funny is both, Pittsburgh's always known for its defense. A lot of the talk during the offseason was how good the Seahawks defense was. But, it looked okay last week. I'm saying I'm not knocking them that much. But like you said, I'm kind of thinking the same thing where we're going to look for potential high-scoring game in this one. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this. Tariq Woolen, the other side corner. So there's two corners. There's the right corner, which is Devon Witherspoon. If you're facing the field, it's Devon Witherspoon, and the left side is Tariq Warren. Tariq Warren is beatable all day long. Devon Witherspoon's very good. Everybody was like making a big deal about like, oh, Woolen should have made that catch that Ton just made. No, dude. Woolen was he was lackadaisical on coverage all goddamn day long, dude. They were eating up Woolen whenever they were playing him. They were trying to get Pearsall all over him. That's why Pearsall was having such a great game. Always guarded by Woolen. So I think that's a perfect matchup. Just target that motherfucker and you'll probably have a great time. And then on the other side, the Steelers are just getting old. I think Cam Hayward went down last week and you kind of go, oh, damn. Like everybody's in their 30s on that team.
Trouble. All right, let's get on to the next. This is a blockbuster one here. The LA Rams at the Tennessee Titans. Rams last week, 7th against QBs, 4th against running backs, 8th against receivers, 16th against tight ends. Tennessee, 3rd against QBs, 30th against running backs, 18th against receivers, and 13th against tight ends. Justin, I apologize, but give me your starts and sits for the Titans.
My starts and sits for the Titans are Tony Pollard, and that's about it. I don't feel comfortable putting in Cam Ward just yet. I'm not the most comfortable with Alec Eilmeyer, even though I think he's got breakout potential. It's kind of a prove-it week. I kind of want to see these guys do it before I feel comfortable starting them. Now, if you're in a pickle, obviously throw in Cam Ward. Maybe you had Brock Purdy or something like that in a 2 QB league. Go ahead, for sure. But Alec Eilmeyer is one of those guys. I'm sitting until he earns that flex spot.
The only guy in the Tennessee Titans I would consider, other than Tony Pollard, would be Calvin Ridley, only because he like CeeDee Lamb, made some drops last week, and I expect him to come out wanting to shine, as so to speak. And there is a definite world where the LA Rams are going to be up big on this Titans team, and they're going to have to throw the football. So that'd be the only other guy I consider like flex worthy, I guess. All right, Fred, what say you for the LA Rams?
I think you start everybody you got from the Rams. Honestly, you have Kyron Williams. I think last week the Rams played the Texans. I knew Texans was going to have a good defense. So that 14-9 score, that was a facade. So you start Stafford, you start Kyron Williams, and you definitely go with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Adams last week had 8 targets with only 4 catches, and Nacua had 11 targets with 10 catches. So they're throwing the ball. Kyron Williams ran the ball 18 times. So you start everybody on the Rams. They should have a big day.
And also a big smash start to that LA Rams defense. I think that's going to be a nice play for you this week. All right, we're going to switch this up just for this game. We got the Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets. Buffalo last week, 29th against QBs. They were 31st against running backs, 30th against receiver, and they were 2nd, though, against tight end. Jets, 26th against QBs, 17th against running backs, 30th against receivers, and 28th against tight ends. So like I said, we'll switch it up. Fred, you take the home team right here. Talk about your New York Jets. Who you starting and sitting?
Listen, man, I seen the Buffalo Ravens game. That defense didn't look good. I'm starting Fields. He looked great last week. Breece Hall, the open field, he was so happy he was able to run the ball. And Garrett Wilson finally proved what we thought. He's a number 1 receiver. So yes, I'm starting Fields. I'm starting Wilson. I'm starting Brees Hall. I mean, this is my upset alert. And we just found out what's his name from the Bills, the middle, Ed Oliver. He's not even playing this week. Ed Oliver. He's not playing this week. So that run game is even better for Brees Hall. He's definitely my smash.
Justin, did you hear upset alert?
Up.
Oh yeah.
Had to bring it back. We'll see. I don't see that happening though.
All right, we always beat the Bills once a year. This is the game.
Okay. Well, Justin, what say you? I apologize for switching up. But I just noticed that. What do you think about I mean, this is easy though. What do you think about the Bills?
Hey, it's only rightfully so that Fred gets to talk about his Jets. I mean, after week 2, he probably won't be talking about them too much anymore. And at least in a good way, he won't be talking about them.
We got the Dolphins week 4. We all right?
Touche, Fred. You got the Dolphins twice.
It's really unfair. It's my team.
That's my team. What are you talking about, my team? Anyway, talk about the fucking Bills, will you? Let's move on.
Oh man. This is an easy one for me. Play Josh Allen. Play James Cook. If you're playing a receiver, I have worries about Keon Coleman just because he's playing the sauce, and sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. Ask DK Metcalf. He got lost in the sauce last week. Keon Coleman, he's a good prospect, but he ain't developed like that yet. He ain't ready for Gardner. So that being said, Shakir, maybe some Josh Palmer, and sprinkle in a little bit of Dalton Kincaid, and you should be fine.
He looks like he's fitting in this offense a little bit. However, I was looking at some of the stats, and he wasn't in on a lot of plays, but when he was getting targeted. So that was just kind of like one of those pick your poison type things with him as well. And it's funny with the Bills, ever since Stephon Diggs, I mean, there's really been nobody that's really like stepped out and been that guy. So it's really tough to pick anyone on there. And, it'll be the guy you pick will do shitty that week, and then you'll switch to the other guy next week, and then he's going to do shitty, and it'll be the other guy going off. So it's just one of those things.
I think the only one that's consistent in PPR purposes is Shakir. But if you go to standard, it's just like you said, it's a coin flip. Like if you're relying just on yards, it's a fucking coin flip.
Yeah, for PPR, I think Shakir is a decent flex option, especially in this game. But again, we're talking about, I thought this Jets secondary was, really good, unless it was just Aaron Rodgers, having a little special moment there. I think the Jets, though, defensively will bounce back a little bit from last week. So we'll see. All right, let's talk about this game. The New England Patriots at America's Fart, the Miami Dolphins. Last week, New England was 18th against QBs, 7th against running backs, 29th against receivers, and 31st against tight ends. The Dolphins were 30th against Daniel fucking Jones, 13th against running backs, 22nd against receivers, and 27th against tight ends. All right, so what say you, Justin? Talk about America's Fart, the Miami Dolphins. Give me some starts and sits.
Man, it's like a wet fart, dude. It's a little uncomfortable. People start looking at you like, did you shit your pants? Like, wait, go. I'll say this. It should be better for Tyreek. I mean, if he can skate by the domestic violence thing and make it onto the field, it should be better for him. No Christian Gonzalez, so you don't have that top-end guy on the other side to take you away. Dolphins need to – I think this is possibly the breaking point.
Yeah.
This is the breaking point. Because I was hearing on the radio, this is, and it's pretty much true. This is the team they've dominated ever since Brady has left. I think during McDaniel's reign, they're 7-1 against them. They're good when it comes to the Patriots. If they can't pull this game out, Mike McDaniels might be out by week 4. We might be talking about this guy gone. Just
all right. Anyway,
on his way back to San Francisco to join Sala.
Nobody wants to hear your fucking opinion about my team. They just want to know your fantasy analysis. Fred, what's
start Devon A-Chain. Start Devon A-Chain.
I mean, on paper, Miami's supposed to beat these guys. Let's be real. New England does not impress me. I don't see anything that they have that you truly, really want to start in fantasy. Drake May, do I really want to start him? No. Who? Demario Douglas? No. Ramondre Stevenson? No. I mean, they just got beat at home by Oakland. Like, I don't see it. Like, I can't start anybody in New England. I'm sitting all of them, man. I mean, Miami has to win this game, and they got to play good in their home crowd, in their home opener. I just can't do it.
I would definitely – all right, so here's my take. I definitely would start Travion Henderson because Miami is a – I don't want to say the word. They are not very good with passing – running back.
Garbage.
Yeah, but they didn't. New England didn't impress you. New England at home just flopped last week. Every which way
listen. I'm not done now. I agree with what Justin's saying. I think this offense has a huge snapback this week. They're going to look good this week. I think Devon A-Chan's a good start. I think Hill's a good start. I think Tua's even a sneaky decent start this week, especially for DFS because he come in so cheap. You throw in Jaden Waddle in the mix as well. Unless I don't know if you've watched much Miami Dolphins football, but man, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you if you peeped any of these games, Jalen Waddle gets hurt every fucking game. For every time he's like, oh, and that's why it's so funny that everyone, his last name's Waddle, because that's what I'm like. He waddled his ass off the field again. It's every game. I don't understand. This last game, he was so hurt. He was like rolling around. He comes and then he's back 3 plays later. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Get your pain tolerance up, bro. Anyway,
you know what's crazy about that, Coop? Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
He came out from the same class as Devonta Smith, and Devonta Smith is literally built from toothpicks, and he stays on the field more than fucking Waddle does.
Right.
And he has, and Waddle has so much potential. I think if Hill wasn't on that team, he would be a superstar receiver, bro. I just don't. I don't know.
He's got to stay on the field, though, period. I'm so done watching him. Oh, he's hurt. And he's back 3 plays later. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's my little soapbox. But I do think the offense will snap back. We'll see what the defense looks like. But I do like Travion Henderson. And we do struggle against quarterbacks that can run. So Drake May might be an okay, a DFS kind of start. So that's all I'll say about that. I'll move the hell on. All right, let's go to now this one. I think this one will be fun, I think, for fantasy. The Jaguars at the Bengals. Jags against QBs are 6th. They're 18th against running backs, 5th against receivers, and 5th against tight ends. The Saints. The Bengals, 13th against QBs, 26th against running backs, 19th against receivers, and 29th against tight ends. All right, Fred, let's go to you with the Jaguar team. Give me some starts and sits on the Jags.
All right, so ETN looked great last week. Like, we were all talking about how if we were going to lose time or not, but I had a buddy, Greg, on Sundays. He said, watch out for ETN this year. I'm going to give him his flowers and give him his props. And I was like, yeah, whatever. He had a great game. He had a great game, contract year. And since we know Cincinnati ain't got defense and they're not good against the running back, start ETN all day. Brian Thomas is a shoe-in. You start him all the time anyway. He probably was drafted high. Start him. Trevor Lawrence, I'm still like this with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, if you have a better option, start the better option. You have to start Lawrence. I understand it is Cincinnati's defense, but the other two, smash them. ETN, Brian Thomas.
I think in this one too, I'm definitely feeling a flexy, sexy spot for Travis Hunter on this one as well. I think, again, I think this will be more of a back and forth in the air type game. So, and I do like ETN fact that Bigsby's now gone as well, so we'll see maybe a little Bashal Tootin a little bit in there. We'll see. But now that he's gone, man, Travis Henry, it's your show, my brother. So Travis Etienne, it's your show, my brother. So we will see. All right, what say you on the Bengals, Justin?
Man, this is the easiest one ever. Start T. Higgins, start Joe Burrow, start Chase Brown, and start that other guy named Chase. So what's his name? Oh, Jamar Chase. Guess what? They fucked you over last week. They ain't gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
The Jaguars are not as good as the Panthers made them look last week on defense, and there ain't no way in hell. I don't care how good Travis Hunter thinks he is. I don't care how much he's gonna spend on defense. He is not covering Jamar Chase. Ain't no way in hell is he covering Jamar Chase. So I'd play them all, and I'd keep an eye on the tight ends. I would not play them just yet, but keep an eye on them because Gesicki had a good week through the yards, and then obviously Fant got the touchdown. So it might just be split the entire time, but I figured this week will give you a little bit more look into how they're going to be going forward. And you probably never want to play them, period, but you can obviously get an idea of, if it's a high-powered matchup week, maybe we'll get a chance to play one of those guys. A bye week special.
So in this one, I'm glad you brought that up because I do like Brenton Strange in this one. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals have been notorious since last season. They were dead last against tight ends last year. They started this year. They're 29th right now ranked. I just see it being an issue. Now, mind you, he looked okay last week. Again, we know who they played, so it wasn't that bit, it wasn't huge competition. But it's possible we could see a little bit of that. People are looking for that streamer this week with Kittle out. So he could be somebody you could easily stream into your lineup. All right, let's go to the 49ers. We'll switch it back now, Justin. 49ers at the Saints. 49ers last week. Here's that defense again. Number 2 against QBs, 10th against running backs, 9th against receivers, 3rd against tight ends. The Saints, 19th against QBs, 20th against running backs, 7th against receivers, 24th against tight ends. Played surprisingly well last week. But Fred, I'm going to go to you for the home team first. Let's talk about those New Orleans Saints.
Saints are in trouble, man. You have to start Kamara. Hey, I don't understand the Saints. Okay, here we go. You got Alvin Kamara, your running back. He's a star. We know this. But you go out there against the Cardinals and let Spencer freaking Ratliff throw the ball 46 times. You're not going to win like this. He was 27 of 46, 240 yards, 9 yards a pass. And you run it Kamara 11 times. You lose 20 to 13. Run the ball more, man. You might have won the game at home. So I'm going to start Kamara. We got to start him. I'm not starting Ratliff. And, of course, somebody has to get the targets. You start Olave and Juwan Johnson. They took the majority of the targets. Olave had 13. Juwan Johnson had 11. If you have to start one of them, start Olave.
Yeah, again, with Kittle being out, a lot of people looking for somebody to throw in there. Juwan Johnson, definitely a name to throw out there for sure. And that's funny, Spencer Ratliff. I didn't realize they threw that much.
47 times you throw the ball, and you run Kamara 11 times?
What the hell
are you guys doing?
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Anyway, all right, Justin, talk about your whole team, the San Francisco 49ers.
Anybody got a gun? I want to stick a gun in my fucking mouth. Every time I hear something, there's a new fucking injury. This week is Trent fucking Williams is injured. He hasn't practiced all week long. Brock Purdy's out for 2 weeks. Fucking Jawan Jennings might not play. Just end. Just stop it. Just stop it.
They hurt.
But anyways, for fantasy purposes, it's pretty simple. It's CMC, it's Ricky Pearsall, and it's the defense. Ricky Pearsall because last year, Mac Jones targeted nothing but strictly the number 1 wide receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brian Thomas Jr., hence the reason he was drafted in the top 2 rounds of your league this year because he had such an amazing run with Mac Jones. And then CMC was the workload guy last week. You got to use him while you got him because he's not guaranteed for a full season anymore. And then the defense, like you said, that was That's the only thing that's unscathed is Salah's side of the ball. And Salah was dialing up defenses, man. Like, he was ready to go. I loved it because it was such a, like, it was so different from last year where we couldn't dial up a defense to save our life, you know. And now we got hard-hitting safeties again. We always have hard-hitting safeties, but we got freaking Bosa getting back in the backfield, forcing game-winning fumbles. Like, this is the only way we're winning in New Orleans, and I hate to say it, the only way we're winning in New Orleans is if that defense just makes that kid's life miserable.
If they're gonna throw the ball 48 times, he might.
Bro.
He ain't gonna throw 48 times in his Niners, D. I can guarantee you that. I'm just gonna say this, and actually, I got a question for you, Justin. Because don't go nowhere, because I got a question for you before you get up.
I just got to get my charging pad real quick.
Keep on. All right, I don't know if you can hear me, because I had a question about the tight end, because you mentioned that it was the corner playing lazy. When I was watching that, I thought he made a great play. Like, I was like, oh, this kid's good. So he was somebody that I thought about streaming this week, and now I'm like, damn, hearing other like people talk about it, like, they're not sold on him. When I was watching him, I thought he looked great. So, and I thought to myself, well, Mac Jones, he's probably been playing with him on the second squad, so I'm sure they got a little connection. But what do you think? It's your home squad. What do you think of him?
Well, I mean, he's not even our second tight end. Luke Farrell is technically our second tight end. I think he was just a victim of a lucky opportunity, in my opinion. I would not stream Jake Tunges. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that they're going to be going a lot to the tight end in this game. You know, they say tight end's like your quarterback's best friend, especially backups. I don't see that with Mac Jones. I see Mac Jones strictly sticking with Pearsall. And if I were to pick a second option, and I'm not recommending a second option for anybody, it would be Kendrick Bourne.
Okay.
Because if he plays the Jawan Jennings role, then that's going to be electric for Mac Jones. But other than that, no, I ain't touching Tunges.
All right.
This game is terrible.
I thought I was going to be smarter than the whole. I know it's Mac Jones against Spencer Rattler. Like, here we go.
It's fucking garbage.
Let's go to another great matchup. The Browns at the Ravens. The Browns last week, 8th against QBs, 8th against running backs, number 1 against receivers, and 23rd against tight ends. The Ravens, they were dead last against QB. Well, I guess against Josh Allen. Running backs, they were 26th, 31st against receivers, and 30th against tight ends. Just not very good whatsoever. Justin, give me your take on the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, are you blacked out on Fred's screen too?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, I am. I just noticed that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
All right. So you said the Baltimore Ravens?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Baltimore, you got to play Lamar. You got to play Derrick Henry. That's it. You got to play those guys for sure. Zay Flowers, I'll trust him as like a third receiver flex. I got to see him do it more on a consistent basis. And then, obviously for the tight end position, kind of scary. Andrews had a shit week last week. Absolute shit week.
Garbage.
Yeah, exactly. My biggest thing is that Lamar is so close with Andrews. I think he's probably going to want to make it up to him. And hopefully that comes out this week. But, if Andrews starts having these shit weeks, guess who's coming back? Isaiah Likely. And Isaiah Likely is a fucking animal. Like, he was eating fucking safeties cookies in training camp. Like, you're not telling me that they're not going to look at Andrews wearing down last year of his contract and look at 24-year-old Likely and go, yeah, let's get the slot tight end. Let's get that fucking guy out there, because that guy's gonna win you games against Buffalo and Kansas City, not the other fucking guy.
Damn.
So it's funny because I've been talking about this whole tight end because my dumbass I got up early to check the waiver wire. I got it right when it closed at like 3:30 a.m. I got up at like 4, and I thought Isaiah Likely was going to be back this week, so that's who I originally picked up. And then I was like, damn. And I don't want to drop him now because Kittle's going to be out a little bit. So now I'm sitting here like that's when I picked up Tonjes or whatever. But now there's a few other options for me to look at. But anyway, but I definitely gonna keep Likely there on my bench because, like you said, he is an animal for sure. All right,
Man,
Fred,
I should have said he's the biggest scrub ever. I should have said he's the biggest fucking scrub ever. No, Jason, you should drop Likely because I'm always wrong about these types of things.
Fred, I apologize. I got to give you the home team or the visiting team on this one. What do you think of those Brownies?
Listen, there's nothing. If you got to start a Brownie, you got to start Joe Flacco. This man threw the ball 45 times last week. I mean, yeah, he had 2 INTs, a touchdown, but you're forced to throw it because the running backs are shit. Jerome Ford ran the ball 6 times for a whopping 8 yards. We have a whopping Dylan Sampson, 12 carries for 29 whopping yards. And Flacco was third on the team with 2 attempts for 6 yards. How bad do they want Judkins in that running back room? So the only person you can really start if you have to is Flacco and Jerry Jeudy. He gets the bulk. He's the number one. Those are the only 2 you start against the Ravens.
Not to keep this tight end conversation going. I feel bad. What about that Fannin Jr.? I had to look him up because I couldn't remember his name. Justin, what do you think of him this week? They went a lot 2 tight ends. That he got targeted, I think, 9 times.
9 times.
More than Njoku did. So what do you guys think? I mean, is that somebody you're interested in streaming this week? Or, I don't know. I feel like maybe that was a 1-week wonder.
I think so too.
No. I mean, he was another guy that was killing it in camp. And I think that, they found different ways to get him open. Stefanski got really creative with him, had him in the backfield, had him line up as a slot. That's where they're kind of using him right now, is kind of like an extra slot in 12-man personnel. So I would not be surprised if he continues to have success. Now, I don't think that he'll have a ton of success against Baltimore because they have a real good pair of safeties back there. So I would really be putting him in. The one guy I would think about is Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman, just a deep threat. He's the type of guy that can show up on the score sheet with 2 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. And you're hip-hop and hooraying because you put that motherfucker in your flex. So
yes.
I would, go for it.
So I just feel like there's a world, once again, where the Ravens get up pretty big in this one, and Joe Flacco is forced to throw the football a lot.
45 times again.
So I'm like, that's the one guy that I've been looking at that I'm like, but he's the second tight end on the Browns. That's what makes me like, I don't really like it, but if it's gonna work, I mean, I'll take it, kind of thing. So, but I'm with what you're saying, absolutely. All right, let's move on. We got the Bears at the Detroit Lions. Bears 21st against QBs, 23rd against running backs, 6th against receivers, and 6th against tight ends. Detroit 16th against QBs, 9th against running backs, 20th against receivers, and 18th against tight ends. Fred, let the Bears bounce back this week. What do you think? Give me guys you like and don't like.
They're not going to bounce back. I think Detroit's going to whoop them. But I watched the game. Chicago started off great. Caleb Williams was looking good. Then it went back to normal at halftime. They just whatever it is. If you have Caleb Williams, you have to start him. I wouldn't start him this game. If you have a better option, he was 21 of 35 for 210 and a touchdown. The only thing that did help his stats was the rushing. I mean, Swift ran the ball 17 times for 53 yards. He ran it 6 times for 58 yards and a touchdown. So you start Caleb Williams. If you have to start Swift, you start Swift. And I like the Dunze over DJ Moore. I know DJ Moore had more yards. He was 3 for 68, but Dunze seemed like he was all over the field. I mean, he had more catches. He had the touchdowns. Yes, less yards, but I really like the way Williams looks for Dunze more than DJ Moore. So if I'm starting him, Caleb Williams, and Dunze are my 2 starts. And, of course, Swift, he still gets his attempts. I just think Detroit's going to whoop him up. I think they got embarrassed last week, and Bears might be in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with you. The only thing I would say, just from a fantasy perspective, is like going back to that theory that I see a world where Detroit is up big and then the Bears are just getting a lot of garbage time stuff. Because Justin, you agree? Do you think the Lions set for a big bounce back this week, especially offensively, obviously?
No, I think the Lions have bigger issues. I think I was reading that the Lions lost. I think it was 9 of their personnel, like 9 of their assistants, and a lot of them went with Ben Johnson. I think they got big issues there. I think they've got kind of an identity crisis, and I think it's not going to be fixed over 1 week. I think that the Bears defense looked really good for about 3 quarters and then kind of fell under the pressure of the offense not working after 2 quarters. So I think the Lions are kind of in for it. Now, I think Gibbs has a bounce back week, and I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is still a safe pick. If I'm going to say a third option, I'm just fingers crossing because I got a lot of them. It's JMO because I'm just hoping, their whole thing this entire offseason's been we're focusing more on getting the ball downfield. Hopefully this week we get to see it. That's all I'm going to say. And I think Laporta is going to get wrapped up this week. And I think that Jared Goff's not really going to be a startable option. He seems like somebody who's going to be in that bottom 15 more likely than that top 15 for me.
I'm surprised that you're saying that because I was all about Detroit having a big bounce back offensively. I like Goff this week. I like Laporta. I like them all this week. I think they're at home. It's just going to be a little. I get what you're saying though, because if you watch way back when our show, that's who I had as my guys I didn't like was Jared Goff, and that's exactly what I had said way back then was about the so much loss in the front staff. Like it was a lot. So I do think though at home. I think they're going to get a little more spicy this week. I like all these guys this week, to be quite frank with you. All right, let's go next one. The Broncos against the Colts, who apparently woke up Peyton Manning last week. Denver against QBs, they are number 1. Against running backs, they are number 1. Against receivers, they are number 2. Against tight ends, they are 11th. On the Colts side, 4th against QBs, 16th against running backs, 10th against receivers, and 7th against tight ends. But they played Miami last week, so what the hell is all that? All right, Justin, talk about the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, this is a team I like to bounce back to earth this game. They're in outer space with how good they did. I think they're coming back down this week. The Broncos defense is pretty stifling, even though they didn't get Cam Ward to turn the ball over. They pretty much allowed him to do absolutely nothing all day long. I would not start Michael Pittman today or this week just because you got Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain, on the other side, and he is definitely going to lock you down. Tyler Warren is probably the only one I'm safely saying go for it. And then, even Jonathan Taylor, and this is weird to say, but I have one league where I'm like Javonte Williams or Jonathan Taylor. One is Javonte Williams with the Giants, and the other one is just Jonathan Taylor, period. So I'm teetering there. I don't think this is going to be Taylor's best week. I think he's going to run kind of into a brick wall all game. They're going to be kind of looking for touchdowns for him. And then Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, he put a quarter in the machine and he got lucky. I don't think he's going to get so lucky this time. I think that this game is going to be a real look into what the Colts are going to do. And if they do really well, then I'm happy for them. And here we go. Let's go Colts. But I think it's going to be the opposite. I think we're going to see the Colts of old.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What do you think, Fred? Talk about those Broncos, though.
All right, so the Broncos kind of disappointed me last week. They played the Titans, and it was a close game at home. This was supposed to set their season right. They were supposed to knock them out and go. So here we go. Bo Nix should not be throwing the ball 40 times a game. He did throw it. He averaged 7 yards of freaking completion. RJ Harvey, the only thing that I did find out about the Broncos is J.K. Dobbins is the starter. He is the lead back. He had 16-6 when it came to him and RJ Harvey. So I'm starting Dobbins. If you have to start Nick, go ahead. I'm a little bit worrisome about it. Indianapolis is at home. I would lean off of Knicks for right now. The only one I truly would start is Dobbins. Now, obviously, you do have Sutton that is the number one. If you drafted him high, start him. But I got to see more from the Broncos. I am very concerned about the Broncos, man. And I think they might lose to Indianapolis. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot closer game.
I don't think so. I think this is a bounce back, just like the Detroit Lions.
Indian Jets, baby. Keeping them on the card. Indian Jets.
We got a question from TS. Man, one more S, and you're with fantasy. I love it. Justin, for flex PPR, you got DJ Moore, Ted McMillan, or Dylan Sampson. Ooh-wee. What do you think? What do you think of these three?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Tedero McMillan in this one. He actually surprised me, had a pretty solid game, even though it was a shitty outing for the whole team. You got Arizona, who didn't look great against New Orleans. I think this could easily be his first touchdown game. And if you tally what he had last week with a touchdown, you're in the money. And my next option would be Dylan Sampson, surprisingly, instead of DJ Moore, because I do agree with Fred. I think Ramadunze is the future in Chicago, not DJ Moore. Dylan Sampson had 8 touches last week as a catch, or he had 8 receptions PPR-wise, and then he had 64 yards. Could be a whole lot of that again against the Ravens. But I'll go with Ted. I'll go with Ted this week because I think we're getting that touchdown from Ted. Touchdown number 1, Ted.
Listen, I'm an old school fantasy player. I always love running backs. I don't give a you know what, and I love what I think that Dylan Sampson, his touches are just going to go up. So in a game where, again, the Ravens didn't show like they can stop anything, even though it was the Bills, and this is a different offense, obviously. But again, I could see some at least garbage time catches for Sampson too. So I like Dylan Sampson a lot in that flex spot. Fred, do you have any different opinion on that?
No, Ted should do really well. I'm like I said, I'm concerned about DJ Moore. I think Roman's going to take a lot more targets.
Yeah, ever since last season, man, I've been a big sell on DJ Moore. All right, we only got 5 games left, so let's take a quick recess because we got to hear from Meg. We got to hear the teams or the players that she doesn't like in the Meg Zone.
Yeah, baby, I'm in some Meg Zone today.
Security.
Hi guys, welcome to the MEG Zone, my exclusive club where only my favourite fantasy football players are making it through the door. Anyone not quite making the cut will be stopped before they even get in. So let's get into week 2, and who is not making it into my club this week? First up, we've got Tank Bigsby.
Security!
He's just been traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars across to the Philadelphia Eagles, which on paper might seem like a good move. However, for fantasy, not great. First up, he's not settled there yet. It has only just happened, and therefore that means his production is probably not going to be fantastic this week anyway. However, rumours have it that the Philadelphia Eagles are actually only really interested in adding him for their special teams. And with players like Saquon Barkley well ahead of him in their pickings, Tank Bigsby is not going to be the person getting the most points at the Eagles this week. So I'm avoiding Tank Bigsby. I'm taking him out of my teams. And I'm definitely advising caution if you have him. Next up, we have Cooper Kupp.
Security.
Seattle Seahawks. Now, rumours had it that he was going to have a breakout season, that he was going to be phenomenal. We saw him last season doing really great things, and actually he's been quite disappointing so far. So with the matchup this week, I would say Cooper Kupp is too risky an option, and I am not going to be putting any faith in him putting up too many points this week. Finally, we have Jerome Ford.
Security.
At the Cleveland Browns. Now on paper, again, he should have been the person getting the most points last weekend, but instead, in typical Browns fashion, they chose to target their rookie Dylan Sampson. So if you have Jerome Ford on your team, you will already know that devastation from week 1, that he just was not getting those points. And again, looking forward to next weekend, it looks like it's going to be a similar picture. So those are the players who are not making it into the Meg Zone this week. For more tips and tricks on fantasy football, you can follow me, Ballers_Meg, across all social media platforms, and of course, here on TSS Fantasy.
Let's go. All right. Let's go with the 4 o'clock games. The Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals. I think Denver and Indiana might be 4 o'clock too. I don't know. All right. Cardinals, 9th against QBs, 21st against running backs, 13th against receivers, and 25th against tight ends. The Cardinals, they were 12th against QBs, 14th against running backs, 16th against receivers, and 26th against tight ends. All right. Let's go with the away team first. Fred, to you for those Carolina Panthers.
Man, I know we are a show and we're supposed to like big up people and try to do analysis, but there's some teams just it's tough, man. And the Panthers are tough. I mean, Bryce Young, I thought he was gonna take that leap. He was like 48% completion rate, 18 of 35. The only person I would definitely 100% start is Chuba Hubbard. 16 carries, 57 yards, but they also he had 3 catches, touchdown for 32 yards. He's the main point getter. Everybody else, no faith in, just Chuba.
Yeah, Chubb definitely a low RB2 flex spot. It'd be interesting though. We talked about this Cardinals D. I mean, they didn't look all that great last week. So, what say you, Justin, on those Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, I like to see that Marvin Harrison was heavily involved last week. Hopefully that continues. I'm happily going to put Trey McBride in every single week because no matter what, he is going to score points. We've proven that, last week, literally, Kyler Murray threw for 160 yards. 130 of it went to Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. There's nobody else to roster on this team when it comes to the receiving side. Like, you could put, obviously, James Conner in your lineups. You're not leaving home without James Conner. And you're going to put Trey McBride. I'd put Marvin Harrison in for this week. I think you keep running with house money on that one. And the Kyler question, for me, if I have a better quarterback, I'm putting him in. Because Kyler, to me, is just so, I don't know, man. He's worse than Rodgers in the fact that, Rodgers used to throw it for like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns and get you just maybe somewhere in the ballpark of 16 to 18 points. It's like, dude, like you have so much potential. You're so good.
I like Kyler. I like Kyler. He runs the ball. He throws the ball.
But he never shows up as much as you like want him to do, or how much you draft him for. He never does. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd put him against. Between him and like say Bo Nix, like I would put in Kyler Murray over Bo Nix. Just some of those. I'm trying to think of those guys that are like mid tier that I'd put Kyler over, but
I'll put Kyler over Trevor Lawrence.
Sure,
but would you put Kyler over Dak Prescott?
Well, see, that's tough. Like that would be that'd be a question for sure. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like once you start to get those top 10 guys in there, are you putting Kyler?
So we're saying Kyler's right outside the top 10, maybe 12. I mean,
I'd say somewhere in there. Yeah, I mean,
the other teams in the league.
I would say.
Here's a good one for you guys. Here's a good one for you guys. Kyler or Matthew Stafford, knowing that Matthew Stafford has Tennessee this week.
I'm going Kyler for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Kyler for sure. Because I think his ceiling could be bigger than Stafford's, and especially in the matchup, I think too. So that's just my humble opinion. I think matchup wise, it looks better.
All right, I'm ready now for the next one. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. The Eagles at the Chiefs. Philly against fantasy QBs, which was Dak Prescott. They were number 4 in the league. They're 24th against running backs, 17th against receivers, and 9th against tight ends. The Chiefs are 28th against QBs, 5th against running backs. They were dead last against receivers and 14th against tight ends. So, Justin, take the home team Chiefs. Who you like?
So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, of course. He's one of those quarterbacks, those top 10 quarterbacks you just don't mess with. You put him in your lineup, especially if he's going to run like he was last week. That was phenomenal. Give me more of that. Travis Kelce, 100% in on Travis Kelce. Not 100% in on Isaiah Pacheco. I think Jalen Carter coming back makes that a really tough game for Isaiah Pacheco. Just because Isaiah Pacheco is not a real special runner. So, he kind of needs to rely on his offensive lineman. If his offensive line can't get a push, it's going to be hard. And then on the outside, it's really tough with Worthy out. Worthy out, Rice out. You kind of just got to go with Hollywood and, hope that he's better than Quinishon Mitchell, because other than that, I think even Jalen Royals is out for this game. So it's real tough. You're dealing with Juju Smith-Schuster. You're dealing with Tyquan Thornton. The only one is startable is Hollywood Brown. Even Hollywood Brown for me is like flex material because of the matchup. Quinishon Mitchell is a legitimate lockdown corner. So I would say the automatic guys, Kelsey, Mahomes, and that's it. That's a wrap, folks.
All right, yeah. I mean, this is.
I would have said start Hollywood, but start. But
this is gonna be tough sledding either way. I think. But I do like Travis Kelce in this one though, just because, like you said, who the hell else are going to throw to? Quite frankly. So, and again, we could see a world where the Eagles get up on them. All right, what say you, Fred, for those Eagles? Give you guys you like and don't.
Listen, start everybody, man. There's nothing you can say about this game. This game should be a really, really good game. So you got to start Hurts. Last week we were like, oh, he's a pedestrian, 19 of 23, a little 152 yards, but he runs for 2 touchdowns and 62 yards. So you got to start Hurts. You got to start Barkley. I think he's going to have a way better game. He was having a great game to that thunderstorm. Once that happened, the whole game changed. Yep. That game, it was all messed up. So start Barkley, start Hurts, start Devonta Smith, start A.J. Brown. He's not going to have one catch for 8 yards again. 100% he's going to do a whole bunch better. Start everybody. Goddard, everybody.
Well, Goddard's out, so don't start him. That's what makes A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith so good in this matchup, I think. And I think you'll see a lot of statistically speaking, Devonta Smith goes off when Goddard's out and A.J. Brown's in. So he's somebody I would definitely smash start this week. All right, let's go to the next matchup. The Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings. Atlanta 22nd against QBs, 15th against running backs, 28th against receivers. They were number 1 against tight ends. Minnesota 24th against QBs, 6th against running backs, 21st against receivers, and 10th tight ends. So what say you, Fred, on those Atlanta Falcons?
Oh man, the Falcons. I don't know how to judge them because everything last week was all about Penix. They rushed the ball. Robinson 12 times for 24 yards. That's 2 yards a carry. That is terrible. But Penix ran it 6 for 21 with a touchdown. But he threw the ball 42 times. He was 27 of 42, 298 with a touchdown. So, yes, if you're starting anybody, you got to start Penix and maybe Robinson, because he did catch the ball 6 times for 100 yards and a touchdown. And I'm just fucking with you. I didn't bother y'all. You got to start Penix. You got to start Bijan. I mean, like I said, Bijan only ran. I don't understand why he only ran 12 times for 24 yards. He should be getting 20 touches a game. But I understand because he did receive the ball 6 for 100 with a touchdown. So I guess they utilize him that way better. But personally, Bijan. Penix if you have to. See, that's one of the questions. Would you start Kyler Murray or Penix?
I would start Kyler Murray. But Fred just said you maybe want to start Bijan.
I was just messing. I was
the best take of the year. All right, Justin, what say you? Give me guys you like and don't like on the Vikings.
Oh, you maybe want to start Justin Jefferson.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. I'm gonna say you want to start freaking Justin Jefferson. You want to start freaking JJ McCarthy. This is a game I think JJ McCarthy could get real interesting with. Last week, the fourth quarter, he kind of had like that little click in his fucking brain, like, oh, I actually know what this offense is. And its offense is scary when he's in control of it.
I think this is a Sunday night game, correct? It's a night game, so it's just on national television.
Yeah,
I believe so. It's the 8:20 game.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get to see the Vikings and the Falcons play in prime time and see how these two young quarterbacks do against each other.
Yeah. It's the Kirk Cousins ball. And it's on prime time when he had his best moments.
That's so true. All right, let's go on. We got 2 Monday night games. Believe it, I hate when they do this.
I hate when they do that, bro.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's the dumbest thing. I don't understand it. But anyway, we got the Bucks at the Texans. The Bucks on against fantasy QBs are 23rd, 29th against running backs, 14th against receivers, and 20th against tight ends. The Texans 14th against QBs, 12th against running backs, 26th against receivers, and 12th against tight ends. So, Justin, you're big on those Texans earlier this season. What do you think? Give me guys you like and don't like.
Yeah, I think this is a change in game for them. I think that they probably had some words, and I think they're going to figure some shit out. I really like Jaden Higgins. If Christian Kirk does miss another game, I think he could be low-key a dark horse to go off in this game. Nick Chubb, I'm a big Nick Chubb fan in this game because, the Bucks defense has really not been that amazing. And, last week, like you said, Fred, I don't know why they're not giving Bijan 20 touches. Dude was obviously having a very good game. Do not give Tyler Algier any touches. That dude is just straight trash. He is just there for fucking if Bijan goes down, and hopefully he doesn't. But straight freaking trash. I don't want to see that on my team. But yeah, I like Nick Chubb this week. I think he's going to bounce back off of his 60-yard game. And, I think they need to start using him more. He's obviously bouncing back from his injury, but he's doing a good job. And then obviously Nico Collins is a good start. CJ Stroud, this is the question for you guys. Long-term, CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray.
Right now, I'm picking Kyler because other than the first year for Stroud, he hasn't been superly overly impressive.
That's such a great comparison, because it's it's almost the same guy. I feel like, but Kyler's had. I feel like Kyler's had a little more. I don't have to look, but I feel like he's had a little more success statistically than CJ Stroud. But they still have both feel like they should be big potential, big play all the time, and they're just not. So yeah, it's a good call. I don't know. I'd probably go Kyler too, though.
You're absolutely right. They're both untapped potential. They're both guys that have literally never lived up to. Sorry, my dog is literally causing chaos right now.
All right, so let's move on to the Bucks.
I'm just waiting to see the Swedish chef in the back. It's Murky. No, man, what's up, man? Thanks for checking in with us tonight. Appreciate you. Okay, Fred, what do you think about these Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
All right. So we're starting Baker Mayfield. We know that 100%. Man threw 32 times, 167 yards, which is meager. 3 touchdowns. Okay. I really didn't know too much about Ibuka. I heard you guys talk about him last week. I was like, what are these guys talking about, bro? They crazy. This man came out 4 receptions, 67 yards, 2 TDs. I was watching. I was like, man, he's killing me. I have Mike Evans. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Spread the ball around. So I think you start Mayfield this week 100%. Bucky Irvin, you always start. He is the lead rusher. Ibuka, but I do believe in Mike Evans still. He always comes through anyway. He always has a big game. He's just that big receiver that you go to when you need him. So I think you start them for all day.
Yeah, the only thing I'll just say about Ibuka is that Baker had been talking him up. I mean, so when you got your QB talking you up, it was like, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? That's somebody we definitely need to pay attention to. So, I like that a lot. And I do like your Mike Evans take. I think he's set for a little bounce back this week as well.
Hey, just to play it, Baker or Kyler?
I like Baker.
It's Baker for me all day, all day.
I'm hoping Justin Fields becomes Baker. How he went to his third team and became that 300-yard passer. That's what I'm hoping for.
I like it. All right, let's finish it up with the Chargers at the Raiders. Chargers
late game, right?
Yeah, this is the late Monday night game that no one's, nobody's able to go to bed. Like, what the hell? Anyway, 27th against QBs, 3rd against running backs, 23rd against receivers. They're 22nd against tight ends last week. I was against the Chiefs, so. Raiders last week were 15th against QBs, 11th against running backs, 27th against receivers, and 19th against tight ends. So, Fred, what say you about the Chargers this week?
All right, so let me see here. You gotta start Herbert, man. He looked really good last week. 380 yards and 3 TDs. I mean, he finally looked like how he was supposed to look. 25 of 34. I mean, he looked great. What is it? How do you say? I don't know.
Omarion?
Yeah,
Omarion,
15 carries. He is the lead back. He wasn't impressive with the yards per, only 3.2. And then I have McConkey, so I still believe in McConkey. But Quentin Johnson had a great game. I mean, 2 touchdowns, 579 yards. So I'll start McConkey, Johnson. I think it's one of them games. It's an AFC West game. They always go back and forth when it comes to throwing the ball. So I start Hampton, Herbert, Johnson, and McConkey all day.
All right, I like it. I like even Keenan Allen as a sneaky flex player.
Yeah, you seen him playing? Last week I was surprised. I was like, look at Keenan Allen.
He can do his thing still. I like that.
Yeah. He was like, send me back to LA. Let's go.
All right, before we close it out with the Raiders, we got a question from Brock Goose. What's up, my brother? He wants to know full PPR, my bad. Dunze, JT, or Chase Brown and Waddle. Ooh, he's picked.
JT. Who is JT here?
We got to pick Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, we got to pick a side here. Ooh, oh my goodness.
Well, I know which side I'm going.
What side you got?
I'm going with Odunze JT. I said Odunze looked like he was great running around the routes last week. And I still believe JT is gonna have a good game. I know me and Justin differ on the game. I think the Colts win it, and I think JT has a good game. And we talked about Waddle at the beginning of the show. So he's gonna go to the sideline 2 or 3 times.
Justin, you on the same with the Dunze and JT?
Yeah, I'm definitely Dunze and JT on that one. Yeah, I just nabbed the fucking dog, man. But Dunze and JT, man, like straight up, that's potential right there. Chase Brown and Waddle. I like Chase Brown, but I don't know if I want to be tethered to Waddle. That's for sure.
All right,
he's a million.
I'll play.
These dogs.
Oh my goodness! I'll play devil's advocate. I like Chase Brown a lot, and the way this Dolphins defense looks, I mean, they're gonna have to throw this fucking football. Period. So I'm on the other side. I like Chase Brown and Waddle on that one, brother. So that's just me. It's not the Dolphin fan. I'm just being real with it. I think they're just gonna be throwing the ball a lot because that defense looks like straight trash. To be quite frank with you, and it's Daniel fucking Jones. So hang on, make me say it again. All right, Justin, give me the Raiders side. Give me starts and sits on that side.
So with Brock Bowers kind of in limbo, if he does not play, I'm okay with picking up Michael Mayer. I think he had himself a couple catches in that game with Brock Bowers playing. I think he's a great substitute. Toby Myers could probably take up the most. And then obviously Ashton Genty, but jeez and Louise. I want to believe in the Raiders because I think that, Gino's got a good story. Pete's a good coach, but this could be a really rough game without Bowers.
Yeah, that Chargers D is pretty tough, I think. I mean, it was the Chiefs last week. I mean, so I think it's going to be a different story this week as well. I'm with you on that. Brock said he said, thanks, boy. He made the trade. He's acquired JT and the Dunze. Listen to you. Don't listen to me. What the hell do I know? No, I'm just joking. All right. Thank you so much, Brock, for your question and making that trade. We hope it works out for you. So if you stuck with us tonight, we got a nice little treat before we go out. You want to know some starts and sits? Our boy, Angela Duke, Mr. Sophistication himself, is here to give you sophisticated starts of the week.
It's time to bring some sophistication to your fantasy lineups with Mr. Mallard.
Wise men once said that revenge is a dish best served cold. This week for Sophistication Station, we got a pretty good opportunity for that. DK Metcalf, now on the Steelers, going against his old team in Seattle. DK Metcalf, after a quieter, not quiet week by any means, but a quieter week. I think he's going to go off against his former team. Hello, traffic. How you doing? Stay classy, my friends. It's going to be a big week for the revenge game. It's a real thing in the NFL, so I'm all here for DK Metcalf. Fire him up on DK in your lineups. Easy, no-brainer. And then if he's going to have a revenge game, someone's got to throw him those revenge bombs. Aaron Rodgers, great first game. I'm going to ride that wave until it falls off the train tracks, whatever. Ride Aaron Rodgers. He's going to take care of business with DK Metcalf, helping him get that revenge game. And then another one out there, Marvin Harrison Jr. looked great in week 1. Looked like pretty much that entire offense with James Conner underperforming a little bit. Harrison Jr. against Carolina at home, just a prime matchup for him. He should go off as well. So sophisticated starts this week for Sophistication Station would be Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, and Aaron Rodgers. And as always, stay classy.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Now go win your fantasy matchup with class.
With class, indeed. Andrew Duke, by the way, is going to be on his honeymoon. Just going to give him a congratulations to him and his new bride. He'll be over, I forget, somewhere on one of those islands somewhere. He said we might get a Sophistication Station from the islands. I can't wait to see that one. All righty. Well, we're going to close things out tonight. We appreciate you joining us. Feel free to drop any questions to us on social media. Be happy to answer it. But what you really want to do is wake up with us on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. We got all the best stuff for you. We're going to do give you some betting advice tips. We're going to give you our best DFS lineups, as well as some few fantasy friends, including Fantasy Jesus and our new Sunday morning cartoon. Can't wait for that. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday morning, and we are out.